own in agencies and in universities. It really is, and part of the reason for this network, this R&D network for ICPA, is to learn from each other and to share. And we do a couple of things in that regard. One of the things that we do is our journal, Advancing Corrections, twice a year, theme focused. The next one's on what works with women. After that's going to be an addition on juvenile practice. But the journal's not enough, because it can only capture so much. Another thing that we do is a symposium, a correctional research symposium. We're doing our 4th symposium in Belfast in Ireland in mid-May of 2025. We're also having discussions with New Zealand, thanks to David Brown, who's our liaison with the ICPA board for this network. And I really look forward to that as well. But what I want to do in the next 20 minutes is to really capture your ideas about what else we can do. How can we share in a productive way the activities that are going on in agencies all over the world and in universities all over the world, so that we can encourage more collaboration, we can encourage more the kind of asking the kind of questions that are important, Danielle, rather than the questions that are really going to make, where the answers are really going to make a difference. How do we do that? What else would you guys suggest we as a network can do? And I now have, fortunately, I have Melvinder, who has been given to us by the Singapore Prison Service to work with us on the network. And then there's also, thanks to David Brown, we have Darian, who is from South Australia, who also works with the network. So the three of us try to meet regularly and figure things out. We need more volunteers. We need more people that are willing to step up and help us out in different ways. So I'm going to open it up because I really would like your ideas on what else we could do as a network. I just said to you, without checking with Mark, whether he'd be willing to be part of another discussion, a virtual discussion series that we could do relatively easily, once a quarter, whatever, just to have a discussion and invite people to ask questions and learn from each other. Other ideas? Yes. Oh, you need a mic, okay. And can you tell us where you're from?
Called Dr. Kisame James. I'm from Uganda.
From Uganda, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And mine may not be a very good idea, but maybe it's an issue that I was hoping to get sorted out during this session, and that's the reason why I came.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yes, there is a lot of research going on, and thank you, everyone that has been able to make a presentation. They're very interesting. But back in the Uganda and maybe African continent, the biggest challenge is to have the research done.
To have the
research done, the technical
okay.
Requirement and need, and the resource need to do the research. There's quite a lot of things that we'd like to share going on down there, but then we don't have support in that area. That's what I was hoping to discuss during this session, how we can network with the different people that are doing a lot of things in order to give us the support that we need for us to be able to contribute to these findings and developments.
Now tell me, what is your role in Uganda?
I'm a medical doctor, public health professional, and I work as the head of health services in Uganda. And for the prison.
In Uganda, there wouldn't be any. Moses still Uganda? Or is he retired?
Yeah.
Okay. there wouldn't be a connection with any university in Uganda with the prison service?
Not easy.
Not easy.
Academia, yeah, we are trying to connect through the School of Public Health, but it's quite loose and we are not very well connected.
So tell me, if you had to do one research project that would be very interesting for Uganda, what would it be? What would you need to find out or know?
Yeah, we have something going on, first of all, to do with the discovery or the management of HIV inside the prison. And through a program, we have stumbled upon something that has reduced the
incidence.
period,
Yeah.
not the incidence, but the period to achieve undetectable viral load.
Okay.
In a
Is that
program.
through Health Through Walls that you're working on that?
No, not yet. So we need to get into this deeper research and see what we can get over it.
I'll introduce you to someone from Health Through Walls, because that's exactly what they do. The Health Network of ICPA that does exactly what you're talking about.
Dr. May?
John May, yeah, Dr. May. Okay, yeah.
Fine, that will be nice.
But I'm glad you raised the issue, because a lot of the research that we talk about in the African continent, it doesn't have as much relevance. And our next ICPA meeting is going to be in Rwanda next year. And so that makes me think about the fact that maybe we need to have a research network meeting that is relevant for the African continent, and not just share research that's done in a Western sort of approach. And so, we don't have time to discuss it right now, I don't think, but I really want to welcome your input, your ideas. Send me an email, for God's sakes. It's easy to communicate that way. And would anybody like to work with us on preparing for something a little different than we could do in Africa next year in Rwanda? Who would like to work on that one? I got hands. Melvin, you're the
Volunteering Rose. Rose and I will have it.
Rose and Danielle and
Onesmus.
where are you from?
Uganda.
We need to.
Okay. And what do you do in Uganda?
I am an administrator, prisons officer.
You're a what?
A prisons officer
Okay, wonderful.
at the rank of senior superintendent of prisons and
Okay.
a young researcher.
And a young researcher.
Yeah.
Okay, how come you're a young? Are you getting
I've just finished my PhD a few years back.
Wonderful.
And I'm trying, actually, that's why I've come here to have the collaboration.
Wonderful. Well, you just got it. Okay, so that's. You're going to have to give Mel Binder your full name and email. Okay, wonderful. So that's exciting, I think, because what we don't know about what desistance is all about in an African context. There could be some really very different factors that are going on, right? Your analysis of that you presented this morning about the percent of admissions that come from different postal codes. I mean, in Africa, that would be all over the place, I think, right? I mean, in Uganda, it would be all over the place. Anybody else with some ideas about how we could satisfy the mission of the ICPA Research and Development Network? Yes, hands up. I got him first, Luke, and then you. Where are you from?
Poland.
Poland, okay.
Hi, hello. My name is Michał Supiński. I'm from University of Justice, Poland. And for us, ICPA is something new because we took part in the last edition in Antwerp. And then we decided this year to join ICPA as a university. And our university, I must say, is something special because we are under the supervision of the Ministry of Justice.
Really?
So
That's unusual.
we are specified in professional training of probation officers, prison service officers, and in all of the research of prison system, probation system, and so on. So we are quite big organization because we have like 300 people there at the university.
Wow.
I mean, not only civilian researchers, but also prison or probation system officers, also some lawyers, legal scholars, psychologists, and so on. So we would like to take part in ICPA network. I mean, this network, and to work with you because I took part in the last session with Mark, and then here it was a lot of knowledge to me. But I have many friends. We are here as a Polish delegation as 3 people, my colleagues, and also many of us are in Poland, and we'd like to work with you because I think you are making a great job here, and I want to thank you for that. Yeah.
Wonderful, thank you. I mean, so you get funding to do all the training of all the staff in Poland?
We were established by the Ministry of Justice, so this is our job.
That's a wonderful development. I don't know of any other country that
It's
does it
Ukraine.
that way.
It's Ukraine. The other countries.
That does it that way?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. You are definitely welcome to come and be part of our network, for sure. Melvin will make sure that we get their, Luke. yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just passing around a piece of paper, so you can just give me your name, organization, and your email, and then we'll consolidate it and post-meeting we'll send out.
Send it to everybody.
Yeah.
If you're already on the network, you don't need to do it like many of you are. But otherwise, yeah, then we'll add you to the list. Luke, did you want to say
It's their
something?
way of broadening the membership.
Okay.
I'm not suggesting it's self-exclusive, this group, but it seems to me to be a tendency to have people who come from the forensic psychology tradition or criminology or social researchers. But there's a whole other body of work sometimes people frown on it that relates to, it's not exactly health research, but looks at the biological determinants of behaviour. People struggle with, I found myself with the type of research that I've been engaged with, that people don't want to think about. There's a lot of researchers who are looking at, for instance, the way that serotonin regulation impacts on impulsivity and reduces violent offending. We've just done a big randomised control trial looking at that and found a 30% reduction in domestic violence offending, which is much better than cognitive behavioural therapy yields.
Mm-hmm.
And then people in all these studies as well, which people find horrific, particularly people who think that people have individual choice and the process we talk about rely upon individual change, that there are genetic markers for types of behaviour, genetic markers for aggression. In these studies that I've been doing, multiple times we've found genetic markers, including for impulsivity. That's the body of research doesn't get brought into this because we don't sort of invite those people into the forum.
So we don't invite them because they're kind of scary.
But
You know, that's why we don't invite, because they kind of scare us, because you know, they do that work, but they don't give us any sort of solutions, you know, like what do you do with all that?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. People like that aren't included in the group, but there's work going on that's high quality work. Like, for instance, this one around serotonin regulation. That's a very simple remedy is actually using Zoloft, for instance, as a treatment for people reducing impulsivity. We do it with in the psychiatric space, and we do it with sex offenders, with anti-androgens.
Well, I mean, I agree with you, unless we invite them to be part of ICPA, not just this network. I mean, we can't invite people to be part of this network if they're not invited by ICPA, right?
So I'm happy to extend the invitation. I think there's bodies and pockets of research that crosses over. It's not exactly health research, but it relates more to behaviour.
I mean, I would love to have a debate from a criminological perspective, I guess, with those folks.
Yeah, sure.
You know, if they can present solutions that are practical, I mean, I'm willing to listen to that kind of stuff, but I don't just want to be told that, you know, there's not much we can do because some people's brains don't work as well as they should. You know?
I don't think
that to me is depressing.
I don't think that's what they're saying. But for instance, in looking at trauma, people can observe patterns of brain activity. So neurologists can contribute to the way we deal with trauma. We use things like dialectical behaviour therapy, trauma-informed care and practice, and have modest impacts on outcomes for people in the system.
Yeah.
We need to look at bolder approaches to that. There are neurological patterns and hormonal patterns of response to behaviours that are embedded in people that potentially are amenable to change. And we shouldn't disregard that because it's a scary concept.
No, listen, I agree, look, I really do. And let's do a workshop at the at the conference in Belfast on that,
We were
right?
good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll have a lot of people for that.
Yeah, good. Yeah, or New Zealand, yeah. We're running out of time, I think. We have 5 minutes left, right? I think. 5 minutes. Kevin.
This is just a quick hit, Frank, but you've got the special issue coming out, you've got Thailand coming up. Why not work to highlight that issue at that conference? Get as many of the authors that are in that as you can there, promote the journal, get more readership for it, and then have some format where they're like talking for 5 minutes or something like that. Not a big long 20-minute presentation, but just to give an appetite out there and then say if you want to learn more, it's in the journal.
Yeah, it's connecting the two that's difficult, right? It's because it's the timing that's difficult, right? Because the women's conference is going on in February, and so the journal might not be even out by then yet,
Does it
if
have
you
an
know what I
impact?
mean.
Does the journal have an impact factor? Like, is it indexed?
No.
That'd be a good idea.
You want to help me work on that?
Yes.
I'm serious,
I know, I'll
because-
do it. It's not
Because working on that, getting it with the Web of Science, getting it all reviewed,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
it's
work.
it's what
I
provides.
started that process a few years ago and I got discouraged because it really involves a lot of work.
I'm volunteering Danielle and Kevin to help me.
Oh my God.
No, are you serious?
Yeah,
Because
really
I'll do
matter.
it, Frank, I'll do it.
That matters.
You have to, because it's for someone who's pre-tenure or something like that, or like, it's too hard to.
yeah, I
push
mean,
them,
you
so-
guys know academics don't get any credit for publishing in a journal. That's not,
And
doesn't
not-
have an impact factor. Yeah.
Some people won't be able to, like,
Yeah.
other people,
I couldn't
feel that.
believe how difficult, to go through that website, they have criteria of the yin yang that you have to satisfy. It's not easy.
No, but it's doable, and I
Okay.
think that would be a really good start, right?
Did you hear that, Melvin? Make sure you make that bold in the minutes for this meeting, right?
But Rose offered to do it all by herself. I think that's
With
what she said.
Danielle,
Rosemary.
with R-U-D-E-S.
Rosemary, Danielle, and Kevin.
Okay.
And Kevin as well, right?
Yeah,
Kevin as well.
Right, W-R-I.
We're no longer friends with Rose.
Wonderful, thank you. Anybody else?
Frank, yeah, may I say a few words?
Oh, on the screen, Judy. Okay. I don't know who's that. Judy, go for it.
Sharon. Yeah, I think let me introduce myself. I work in Hong Kong in prison before, and now I provide consultation in community. I would like to respond to Frank's questions. I think it's very worthwhile to have more professional exchange through engaging more people from different parts of the world. More ICPA webinars will really help. And I think apart from people from prisons, I think a lot of people working in the community will also help, because they are the one who help the people who continue to have desisted. So I think through this meeting, we can have organized more. Yeah, that's
Wonderful.
all I'm sure.
Thank you.
As someone mentioned, research gives a clear picture of what is really happening. On a personal level, I am doing research on AI, artificial intelligence,
Oh, okay.
if that can be trauma informed. Okay, a lot of prisons around the world are going towards AI systems, but no prison is thinking if this can be trauma informed. We speak of our therapists having to be trauma informed, but we do not speak about AI being trauma
Technology,
informed.
yeah.
I'm also trying to research if AI is culturally and linguistically sensitive enough to equal at least or be close to equaling a proper human therapist. It's still in proposal stage, but hopefully soon I'll have some data to collect.
Wonderful.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks.
What about you, Brian? 90 seconds.
Yeah, no, we're actually doing a study around drug testing, and in the States, we spend $1 billion on testing folks. People that don't even have substance use issues continue to get tested and end up revoked. And so we're doing a randomized control study on people without identified substance use and what happens if we don't drug test them, comparing to people who drug testing as usual, and we're using it across 3 jurisdictions, ensuring that we have sort of both racial, ethnic, and gender differences across the 3 jurisdictions.
Wonderful, yeah, sounds really quite interesting. How do you find things out so quickly? Thank you very much to all of you. If you would like to be added to the research network mailing that we send out, Melvin, you're passing something around?
Yeah, we've got the names.
We've got some names? Okay. And if you want to just contact us.